Okay, okay, come on in, come on in. All right, people, we're back at it again. It's the Wednesday Wagwan, aka the midweek catch up. All right, people, this week we're talking about it. We're talking about the serious issue about safety. How you feeling out there? Are you feeling safe? I tell you right now, it can happen anywhere, man. Violence, men are dying. So that's what we're dealing with. Men are dying, and how do we change that? Well, even on this week early, Monday, we had breaking news that there was a shooting at Fairview Mall, a place that I used to frequent a lot. Um, a public space. So we have issues. All right, let's talk about it. So you got safety issues all over the place. We know about the subway system. We try to deal with that, mitigate that in certain ways by putting officers there. And just recently, we had to remove those same officers after probably like a 3 week pilot project. We know that crime obviously went down there. You know, there wasn't any more heard about. I haven't heard anything crazy like what we were hearing before with people getting hit with hammers and spit in the face and thrown onto tracks, pushed down, you name it. Um, But we have issues in public malls where you go to shop and you want to buy something, you want to just go hang out with your friends. Like I said, I used to frequent even this place in Fairview. And we have individuals that are being shot and fired upon, and guns are just too easily accessible, obviously, that we're seeing this on a regular. What do you say? What do you do in a public space where you see people now? I mean, everyone has a cellular device and it's on record when something like happens. A woman just got carjacked the other day by two individuals thrown out the car, and this was filmed, made it on news. But the safety is still a concern because are people forced? Is this their only recourse that they can say, all right, maybe I can catch somebody in the act and then the police can do something with it? When we have violence in the school system, where you send off your kids to go get an education, but then we have disruptive individuals in the classrooms, overturning desks. I'm hearing, like, I mean, you know, threatening teachers and students. That's not a place that one would feel safe. I mean, needless to say, I don't want to be Captain Obvious here with that. But I mean, we're talking about safety being the issue. So what do you do when you send your child out? What do you do when you send you know, your loved one out and expect them to return the same way that they left? That's a problem, and we don't know if the school boards have the power, but there's not enough consequence we see happening to these individuals. And I wonder if we even say it starts at home, what's the message being conveyed to those parents when that child is disruptive? Is there a message being conveyed? Is the parent doing something? Because if you see the result later on, then you know, okay, the parent also stepped in and reinforced what the teacher was saying. But if I see that child consistently doing something over and over with no regard or no respect for their peers and the teacher, no regard for what kind of punitive action would be taken, then yeah, that tells me that there's no respect or regard for the parent or the student. And that also tells me then that there was nothing for that child to learn. There's no authority that was doled out from that parent. That parent has no authority over that child, that they can come back and repeat this over and over. If there was any authority on behalf of the parent, then I believe you'd see some change. As I know in my time, my parents, they talk to me. I get in trouble from my teacher, and my teacher tells, listen, that gets nipped pretty quick. And I don't know what it is that has changed where discipline is concerned, that it just looks, discipline now looks like abuse. Now, mind you, discipline is definitely not the same as it was in my day, but and if you saw what was happening in our day, yeah, you'd probably call some things like, and I even say, yeah, that was a little heavy-handed, literally. But even so, I think it made me better. I think it made me think twice. I didn't hate my parents to the point where it's like, oh, I want them to die, or I want them arrested. I wasn't that fragile, you know what I mean? And I guess that's anecdotal because that doesn't mean everyone's going to respond the same way. However, I believe that when you know that there's a repercussion for your action, you act different. When you know there's a consequence for your action, you act different. But if you don't have a consequence, why would you act different? You just think you can get away with it. And I think that's one of the problems that's happened with some of these young children or these young youths that are growing up, and it now turned into teenagers and turned into young adults, and they've reached a level, or they have a degree of arrested development, because that's as far as they want to elevate. They don't want to change some of those things because they can get away with it. There's no repercussion. It's time, I believe, that we really look into our tool bag. I think it's time that we look into how we have these discussions, how we go about conveying a message that some of these things that we see starting in the school, starting in our home, is unacceptable, and we move from there. Because right now, what I see happening is that it's spilling out into the public and into the public's places where you don't even expect now. I mean, it's spilling out into malls in broad daylight. It's spilling out into places that you travel to go to work. Come on. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be a way to navigate through this crazy incidents that we're seeing. Yeah, third month of the year. Spring just sprung, literally. We're March 21st today, and look what's happening now. I mean, if this is happening now, Lord God, help us for the summer. I pray that in this mayoral race that's happening right now, I mean, many candidates are putting in their hat in the ring, but I pray and hope that, I pray for them. I pray for who's going to be the leader, because you're going to need some God in this one, because all these solutions that people have been coming up for how long now, we need to go back into the drawing boards. We need to throw everything at the drawing board, and hope something sticks. You know what I mean? Because, and we need to have serious conversations that go beyond money. I think we've shelled out and doled out a lot of money into certain programs and certain institutions, but the problem hasn't been solved. So now we need to either reallocate those monies, or um, have conversations about where they can be better served, and help to quell some of these situations that we're seeing in the public, because safety is an issue. Safety should be a priority. Safety should be, at the top of the list when it comes to a city that you want to live in, and encourage people to come and visit and live in. That's a little rant I'm doing tonight on the Wednesday Wagwan, the midweek catch up for this day in March. People, man, just tell me what you do. Tell me what you think we should do because we're running out of ideas. We need ideas. We need we need ideas so that we can have a better conversation. We need solutions. And tonight I'm talking about it, and I hope that whoever listens to this, I'm making sense to somebody because safety is something that I'm concerned about in the city I live in. I'm not trying to run and hide somewhere under a bridge or something. But the concern is there. And I'm concerned for, my children growing up and trying to raise their own children right now. And where things were different in my days and how I brought up my kids, I know they're in a world where they have to bring up their kids a different way. But I want ideas. They say two heads are better than one. So can you imagine if 2,000 different heads come with good solutions? Not just to tear down somebody else's idea, but to say, hey, I can add on to that idea. I can add on to that solution. I have the resource that you might be looking for. Yeah, let's have some more of those conversations. In the meantime, people, want good. Be vigilant, be sober, look and be aware of your surroundings until we catch up back again for the Wednesday Wagwan, the midweek catch up. I'm Drew, signing off. But as we know, men continue to die, and this is a sad situation. And while that happens, I'll be reporting on it. So until we catch up again on the Wednesday Wagwan, peace and one love.